Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the new Hyundai Santa Fe, and this one is the XRT if you're wanting in terms of the packaging. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Young Hyundai here in Ogden, Utah for giving me some time with this Santa Fe. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.5-liter four-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 277 horsepower and then 311 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, taking a look at the hood, you guys can see very boxy with the design, and with this XRT package, notice the Hyundai badge has been blacked out, and then popping down below, I really like the headlight design here with the H's. I think that's really cool, and you can see you've got more of that down the center, and then again, everything else pretty much just blacked out. And putting it all together, I know some people are going to be offended by me saying this, but it kind of looks like a modern retro version of the Ford Flex, which I don't think is a bad thing because I actually liked the styling on that. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 245/60/18 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see with the wheels here completely blacked out and really chunky design on the spokes. And yeah, this has real all-terrain tires. And then you can see here with the fender flare and then the Santa Fe badge on the side, and then we've got the rest of the body work here, so it's got that cladded appearance. And then here is your full side view with the Santa Fe, again all blacked out. It just looks so cool. Now this has what I call Hyundai's futuristic key fob from the Jetsons. It has that kind of appearance, but notice you got the opening for the hatch there, and then you have your remote start function, lock and unlock, and yeah, just a sleek design. Now popping into the back, you guys can see we do have a third row, and with the third row pulled up, which will actually do that, you still have a decent amount of storage space behind it. Again, for an SUV in this size segment, got a 12-volt here in the back, and you can see here for the second row to fold those down, full outlet, and then third row passengers even get a cup holders, which is nice, and they have their own climate. That's cool. And then when you're all done, just press that and that will lower the hatch right back down. Pretty quick with the actuation there. Giant Santa Fe badge there, and you can see the XRT badge on the side. And then again, you got the H's for the taillights, parking sensors there at the bottom, and then look at the exhaust tip there. And putting it all together, let me guys think about the design here, but I feel like it's like Ford Flex with Range Rover kind of like mixed in. That's kind of what the design is on this, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Again, I think it looks really sharp. Now normally this is where I open up the door, but I think this is pretty cool. So you push that in, and then this is like a little grab handle, so then you can get up to the top. I think that's a nice feature. They have it on both sides. But anyways, well, I guess the door was locked, but popping into the back, looking at this door panel, this is like straight out of a Range Rover in terms of the theme. And by the way, build quality is really good, like really tight fit and finish on all of the trim pieces. And you guys can see here with the handle, again, very Range Rover-esque. And then taking a look at these seats, perforated all down the center. Now space here in the second row is great. We've got a little storage compartment there, and then you can see here even more storage, and we can even access the center console from the back, which is kind of a cool feature. And then headroom back here, it's good. Now when it comes to third row, we just have this button right here, and that'll push the seat back. It is a little bit of a tight squeeze there with the feet, but once you're back here, you know, again, I'd probably reserve this for kids, but the seat's actually pretty comfortable. Headroom's good. Like, there's tons of headroom. It's just the kind of foot space, I guess, that's a little bit more on the cramped side. Now, take a look at the front door panel. You can see, again, soft touch trim here. Again, this really does remind me of the Range Rover Sport interior. Anyways, all of our window controls, mirror adjustments, blind spot mirroring with the mirrors as well. And then here's the front seat. You can see XRT there, perforated all down the center. We've got all of our adjustments on the side, and then you can see here with the tow mode, stability control, and that's the opening for the hatch, your parking brake here, and then look at the vent with the H, and then again, soft touch trim all across the dash. Now take a look at the steering wheel. We've got soft touch all around. Paddle shifters there on the back for that 8-speed. We've got practical controls like our voice command volume controls. We've got our adaptive cruise control with our steering assist. And then you can see the regular stalks here on the back. And then we do have a column shifter as well. Full digital gauge cluster here in the center, and the animation with it's pretty cool. You can scroll through and see different bits of info on systems within the vehicle itself. And then we do have our drive modes here, which, yeah, it gets red for sport, but nothing too crazy in terms of the drive mode change. We do have a backup camera here, trajectory on its turn with the steering wheel, and resolution's solid. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, Hyundai's newer unit, so responds very quickly. It's easy to use, and then it's all in one unit with the gauge cluster. Again, with the H design on the vents, I think that's so cool across. And oh my gosh, it has a, it's got a top glove box again, just like a Range Rover. And then you can see down below at the bottom glove box, the handle on these glove boxes is kind of interesting. Tons of physical controls here in the center. We do have a screen, obviously, but you've got your dual zone climate controls. You've got your analog radio controls, your drive mode select here, auto hold as well. You've got hill descent control too. Almost forgot to mention, we got heated seats, and then you've got all of your charging ports right here, wireless phone charging pad as well. This is so cool with the design. Got some more cup holders, and then with the center console. I think this is cool what they've done here with this lid, kind of how that is situated. And then we got even more storage underneath there as well. Then you got a regular mirror, manual dimmer, and then we actually had a center up front, and then just a lighter colored headliner. So here's the window sticker for this XRT. You guys can see the standard equipment, or maybe can't because of the glare, but almost everything is standard that we went over. The only options are carpeted floor mats, cargo cover, first aid kit, wheel locks. Total MSRP $42,495. And let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, and throughout the rest of the rear. Boxy design helps out quite a bit. And it does take a second to get used to the twisty column shifter, but what I will say is it's a nice thing because it helps free up space inside. I hope more automakers go back to column shifters, because I mean, with an automatic car, there's no point in having a shifter here in the center. It makes sense obviously for a manual, but with an automatic, not so much. So first off, seats are comfortable. Every single time I look at this door panel is like the most, like right here. This is the most Range Rover looking part in the interior. It's I mean, obviously they've you know, Hyundai'd it, right, with doing the H's and everything, but it's so similar. It's so funny. I love it. And some other stuff, I actually am super impressed with the overall build quality, like really tight fit and finish. Again, you know, a car at this price point, you don't necessarily expect it, and so you can tell that Hyundai's doing a lot to make it so their product is just well built. Now in terms of acceleration, yeah, the turbocharged engine, it's got some good power. It's pretty smooth too. It's pretty dang smooth. It's a nice ride. It is a nice ride. Yeah, I mean, this is really comfortable. They've done a great job. I mean, it's still a, you know, unibody construction SUV, but oh boy, I turned into the wrong place. So we're gonna hopefully find our way out of this. Okay, here we can go. We can just go this road. I was like, we're not going to a shopping center. But yeah, it drives well for what it is. Drives really well for what it is. And yeah, great torque. And if you notice on the outside, even though it's got a boxy design, they've kind of rounded off a lot of the body lines, and so it doesn't have, and the windshield's not super upright, so it doesn't have, you know, crazy wind noise. Now again, I'm not going super fast given, but you know, even at this speed, if a vehicle is going to start having wind, you know, more than, I guess you could say, an excessive amount of wind noise, it's going to start doing it now. Yeah, this drives so well. I'm really impressed, and I love this powertrain. This turbocharged powertrain is great for this car. It's more than enough power to move this. Yeah, and over the, I mean, the suspension's comfortable. Man. This is impressive. I think that I turned there, maybe. Or actually, we'll just keep going. I'm lost, but it's okay. We're going on an adventure in the new Santa Fe. Okay, definitely should have turned there. Not supposed to be going, because that's the main road. So, anyways, I'll get back. Don't you guys worry. But yeah, I guess let's sum things up here with the new Santa Fe. I think this looks great on the outside, even though I made, like, some people are gonna be like, oh man, comparing that to a Ford Flex, that's an insult. I thought the Ford Flex was cool with the design, because the boxy design, again, boxy designs always just look cool, but it also, you know, lent to some level of practicality. Okay, anywho, as I was saying, boxy design, practicality. It looks cool on the outside. The interior is really nice. This is impressive. You look at the price point, like, this does not feel like a, you know, in today's money, this does not feel like a $40,000 car. This feels a lot more upscale than that. I mean, the fact that this doesn't have cloth seats, for example, you know, most cars at this price point still have, this size category, you know, still have cloth seats. So really nice interior, really solid drive. And yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to compare the Santa Fe against, because it's kind of in a niche category. There's not a lot of SUVs in this size category that have a third row. This is just like slightly bigger than like a Toyota RAV4, but it's smaller than, you know, the Palisade, for example. So in the Palisade, that size segment, you've got a lot of 3-row SUVs. So it's just a little bit different. So putting it all together, Hyundai did a fantastic job with this new Santa Fe, and you know, that's it. They did a fantastic job, and I think that they're going to sell a boatload of these. But let me know what you think.